What's good? What's good? It's Fawcett Media back in the building. What's happening, y'all? What's going on? Decided to take my time with this one. You know, I'm going to be a little different than everybody else already hit this, I think, just based on the nature of the participants in the incident and the nature of who I am. If you don't know who I am, Fawcett Media, I'm a 20-year entertainment professional, actor, writer, producer, director, all the above. And, you know, it's kind of hard to talk about something like this for me, just based on my position, what I intend to do with myself as a career. It's just a place where it's a sensitive subject, obviously. And you hate to see something like this happen on such a big scale. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock out the blue after a joke was told. You know why it weighs heavy on me? I'm going to tell you. Because both of these people are heroes of mine. I've been a fan of them, been following them since the early days of their career and watching them grow and develop as leaders in this industry. And as somebody who is a practitioner and a participant in this industry, all I can say is I'm highly disappointed in what Will Smith did to Chris Rock, our brother Chris Rock. And you know why I'm disappointed? Because it overshadowed potentially the biggest moment in his career, the biggest moment in history. There have only been 5 black men, including Will, now to win this award, Best Actor, Oscar. And this moment has been sullied. Not to mention, there was a black production team for the first time in Oscar history, I believe, helmed by Will Packer. So it makes you, so everybody's hit this subject, and I just wanted to get some perspective on things, you know what I mean? I just wanted to, I didn't want to jump into the fray right away with this type of, like I said, sensitive topic, you know what I mean? Wanted to take my time and get my thoughts together. Still not 100% there, honestly. And, for it to happen in this situation, which we're going to talk about, we're going to take a look at this clip. And I just was watching it in disbelief. Why did it have to turn this way? Why did Will feel this was the moment to make that decision? I know he's been going through a lot since the last year or so has been headlines, and poor Jada, which he's going through. I'm going to talk about that too. Well, poor Jada in this situation. Obviously, she's participated in some of the other situations that are kind of complicating this, the entanglements of it all. But it's just a lesson that we can take out of this. It's a lesson we can take out of this because here's the thing. As many people have covered this topic, I don't think they really are getting the severity of what happened. Let's take a look.
I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
This is where they knew it was real.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay.
Chris is holding back right there. He's about to tell another joke.
Night in the history of television. Okay. Okay. So we are here to give a documentary out, to give an.
Okay. Not only that, right after that moment, a black man, one Questlove, and his documentary, Summer of Soul, won an Oscar. You know what? Moment totally overshadowed. Not to mention Will's Oscar that he receives after for Best Actor, which if you know, if you really pay attention to the Oscars, like I do, it's the top honor an actor can get in the Academy Awards. Now, you know, over the years, we've had, you know, the worth of the Oscar question. You know what I mean? Is it a big deal to even get it? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it a curse? But the fact of the matter is, somebody's light was dimmed. Many people's light was dimmed by this moment of just senseless violence. And for all intents and purposes, I mean, you can look at how Will took the joke in the initial phases and everything was fine. But for some reason, when he looked at Jada, whatever Jada was giving him back set him off and sent him out there on this. Well, he didn't have far to go because he was right in the front row. But it sent him out. It sent him out there with whatever was on his mind. And I got to say, Will in his acceptance speech spoke about the influence that, Richard Williams had on him. And I think it's something that's not talked about for actors. Is a lot of times we do take on characters that have a real deep impact on us. And we take on what we perceive their personality as being. And we don't get help. We don't figure out how to work our way back out of that character. Not entirely. Not that Richard Williams was particularly the most violent person, but if that is what Will is going through, he definitely needs some type of evaluation, psychiatric evaluation to not only deal with what he's going on with that would cause him to go up there and put hands on Chris Rock, but whatever else in his ethos is causing him to make the statements he made after that. And I also want to say, I know everybody's been talking about the alopecia as a reason for Jada's displeasure. You know, she had gotten her hair cut short. And she had announced that was kind of what she was going through. But after doing a little research and looking around and just using my deduction skills, like, could it be that there's something more going on with Jada that evoked this reaction in Will? And I hate to speak these things if they're not true, but it immediately flashed me back to our brother Chad Boseman, who I knew in my days as a New York actor, and the response that he got when he came out, you saw that he had lost a lot of weight. His appearance had changed. And people started roasting. Internet jokes all over the place. But I could see something was wrong with him. Nobody knew exactly what was wrong with him, obviously, because he didn't want to share that part of his life. But I could see there was something different. And what if that's a situation with Jada Pinkett? And we don't know. Maybe they know, but we don't know. Would that trigger some type of emotion in you that you might not be able to control if that's your wife? Yes, she's announced the alopecia thing, and hopefully that's just it. It's just a bare minimum of that. But people lose hair for multiple reasons, and sometimes saying something like alopecia could be a good cover for chemotherapy. It could be a good cover for any number of autoimmune diseases, which I believe alopecia is. It could be just a toll of the stress that has gone on in that household for the last year or so. Hair falling out. So, how do we get to this point? And then how do we rewind things, re-engineer things, make things right? Of course, Diddy said he was going to broker a peace treaty between the two of them. But I'm glad I did wait because apparently there's been some apologies levied back and forth. Let me see if I can pull those up. Between Will Smith and Chris Rock. Because can't stand. Can't stand in the way it is. Okay, here it is. So in a post on Instagram on Monday afternoon, Will Smith called his behavior unacceptable and unexcusable. Violence in all its forms are here we go. Violence in all its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior at last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are part of the job, but a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I'm embarrassed, and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be. There's no place for violence in a world of love and kindness. I would also like to apologize to the Academy, the producers of the show, all the attendees, and everyone watching around the world. I would like to apologize to the Williams family and my King Richard family. I deeply regret that my behavior has stained what has been an otherwise gorgeous journey for all of us. I am a work in progress. Sincerely, Will. Yeah. So, that's a start. I don't see a world where Will is just going to be on an apology tour for the rest of his career, obviously. There's some moves that, I would suggest after this career-wise for him. But yeah, this is what the PR people told him to say. Did he want to say this? Maybe not. Because whatever it was that caused him to go out there and do that, it needs to be addressed. So then there's another mental layer to this that we've got to understand, because our brother Will is suffering. And that's no laughing matter, obviously. Did I share the video, or did I share the videos in my group chat? Yes, I did. But we got to really be honest about what Will has, the pressure that Will's put on himself throughout his career. And, what exactly fueled this type of confusion? Because as a professional, this is unprofessional. This is unacceptable. And I'm disappointed in Will and how he did this, how he made this happen. Now we can say, oh yeah, you got to protect your wife and this, that, and the third. There's a time and a place for that. That place could have easily been backstage of this show. It could have easily been the after party where you pull Chris to the side and have some words with him. But for some reason, he wanted to publicly embarrass him. Which leads me to another point. Why did Will Smith want to embarrass Chris Rock in addition to this? Yeah, sure, we got the moment that happened in 2016. 2016, where Chris Rock made some jokes because Jada was boycotting the Oscars for Oscars So White. But there's something else. These people have known each other for years. And as far as I've known, have been cordial. Why now does Will Smith, did he impulsively do this and ruin an otherwise uplifting Oscar ceremony? Something was just in the air yesterday too. I can admit that. But that being said, you don't just fly off the handle like that. Even Will Smith's mother mentioned, and maybe I can pull that article up, or that news clip up, that she had never seen Will fly off the handle like that. And 2 minutes, 10 minutes, however long after the show, and hours after the show, Will is laughing with the Oscar in his hand, rapping one of his hits. This is strange behavior. It's very erratic behavior. And like I said, it's unacceptable. And so I worry about Will. I worry about the state of his mentality after this. Like I said, this is supposed to be the biggest moment of your career, something you've potentially wanted your whole career for going on 30 years. And you made it all the way there. and you just shit the bed. It's like self-sabotage. And I can talk about that because I've done it myself. Plenty of people have sabotaged themselves, gone to a situation that could have been perfect if you just did one more thing. Because even if he hollers from the audience and doesn't go up on the stage and smack Chris, or even if he does get to the stage and just pulls Chris to the side, even up there in public, sternly, maybe we don't have this moment of overshadowing what could have been a beautiful, beautiful moment. Yeah, it's crazy. This is not normal behavior. And I don't take it lightly. That's why I didn't want to come on here earlier in the day or last night. I thought about coming on last night. Last night would have been interesting. But I wanted to take some time and get perspective on it and just really understand what really happened in the moment. And then express, like I said, the concern that I have for how it went. And to, for all the people who just slap somebody that's brought us so much joy as Chris Rock. We can be honest, he wasn't perfect. Chris Rock isn't perfect. He's had some moments, I know. Anybody that knows, okay, it says that I was looking for the Chris Rock apology, but it looks like it was actually says it was fake. See, that's what I'm saying. People have been reporting on this all day, and everything hasn't really come out the way it's supposed to. That's what I'm saying. Something weird is happening. And there's been some energy shift in this. And there's some hands in this that we don't know quite what's going on. Right. But either way, and that's why I think this is delicate subject matter, even though it happened in a public space. People are welcome to talk about it because it is a public happening, something that we all witness. It's etched in our mind now. But as a black person, as a black participant in this entertainment industry, I am highly disappointed in Will. Highly disappointed that he couldn't make it to the finish line. Highly disappointed at the lack of care for mental health that goes on in this business. And was Chris Rock wrong for that joke? If he had all the knowledge, I'm sure he wouldn't have said that joke. I heard the joke was written by somebody else as well. So there's that. Chris Rock got smacked for somebody else's words now, is what I'm hearing. So where do we go from here? That's the question I pose in the title. Where do we go from here? Well, there's one thing. With Will Smith being autonomous out of necessity, because Hollywood they turned off Will Smith's clock a couple years back, maybe in mid to early 2020s. And then Will took it into his own hands to start producing his own films. Brilliant move. Now you have a little more control over where your career is going. And you have a lot more, how do you say, leverage in the game. So Will can embrace the bad guy, which, we don't know what he's working on right now. There might be another role here that he's got that's dark in nature. We've yet to see Will really go dark in a role. This might be the opportunity for that if there's any type of, if he even wants to touch that realm at this point. But yeah, it's a lot of choices that he can make right now that can either make or break him. Make or break him. Mike Reed says here, let's see what this comment says. Thank you for joining. The joke was about a character that was a trailblazer, a feminist hero that shaved her head to be just like the men that went through training. Yes, G.I. Jane. Yes, which also gives me an indication of I'm familiar with some of the people that write for Chris Rock at the Oscars. Sounds, it's in somebody's voice. They wrote it for Chris in Chris's voice, but it sounds like somebody I might be familiar with, a comedian. But yeah, so yes, G.I. Jane was a feminist hero in the film, shaved their head to be just like the guys. Yes. But if you listen to what I was saying earlier, it wasn't about the G.I. Jane joke, really. There's something else going on, something else deeper. I don't even really want to speculate on any type of mess that could have happened years and years ago. But up until this moment, really, there hasn't been a public incident between them, except for the 2016 where Chris Rock made jokes about her. Because the nature of that joke, if you put that in context with the G.I. Jane joke, it was about them not being good enough to even be in the Oscars room. That's where Chris Rock's joke went before. But as I said before, Chris Rock doesn't write all his jokes, right? But he was needling them when they weren't there, boycotting. I think it was something about the punchline had to do something about Rihanna's. She's about as welcome as at the Oscars as I am in Rihanna's panties, something. He had to throw Rihanna in there, I guess. But so you see that deep insecurity that comes from not being accepted or feeling like you're not accepted, compounded with the moment that happened on Sunday. It could push you a little further than you thought. But as I said, Will was laughing at the joke. It wasn't until he looked at his wife and really took an inventory. Whatever happened, because the camera cut away, unless there's another angle out there that I haven't seen, it got him to that place. It got him to that place of just no return. Because, okay, so people talk about, I mentioned the fact that Will is a producer, produces most of his projects out of necessity. Because if you haven't known, even Spike Lee and established directors now are still vying for money after proving themselves in their craft at the highest level. Now Spike is questionable sometimes. He does some interesting films. But the fact that you still have to do that at this point in your career is hard. And but the fact that Will has set it up so that he can not have to really deal in that. The only problem comes when you have to distribute your product. And so now we've got several different platforms, obviously, online, Netflix, We've got every cable network has its own streaming service. Amazon, Apple. So there are places to go. But if your name is Mud in town and you do produce your own films, they can make it very hard for you to get your product to see the light of day. And so that's another thing. Also, the insurance costs for somebody who's a liability through the roof. They're like, you could snap off at any moment, right? And something could happen. We can't insure you. It's almost like, you remember that Scarlet Letter? It's just like that. So, Will has a couple movies in production, pre-production, various phases of production. And I think Bad Boys 4 is one of them. So, yeah, he can continue to go forward. But, man, more and more, if you don't play this Oscar thing right, it's definitely looking like some kind of curse. It doesn't have to remain a curse. But man, who would have thought Will Smith, of all people, is in jeopardy of being persona non grata? I think that's how you say it. Yeah. It's really strange, really strange. So yeah, so that they said that was a fake. Chris Rock's team has shut down. False apology circulating online. So yeah, we've got Will Smith's apology as the main thing. I want to know what you have to think about it. I'm going to drop the link if anybody's available. I'm not going to stay on this too long. Just like I said, because it's two of my heroes literally involved in this. And for whatever reason, it played out the way it did. And doesn't feel the best. Let me just say. Doesn't feel the best. And it has the opposite intended effect. So now, not only are the jokes that existed on Jada and Will floating through the air, now everybody and their mother is doing coverage of this. Yeah, I just hope they get some help as a family, even, and individually. Because, like I said, if we find out that this is something more that Jada is going through, it will hurt my heart. Absolutely. Yeah. So I know I've had fun with the Kanye situation too, but I felt like it's different. It's different than this. Kanye's experiencing a different kind of pressure and situation based on, how he's been handling things. But yeah, when you see somebody who's had it together that whole time and never cracked in this way, that's what you need to watch out for. Kanye's got fits and starts and bursts of energy that come every so often. But this is odd. Like I said, we've never seen Will do this. Let me see here. I don't know if people are getting flagged for this Oscars footage, but it's kind of crazy, man. And two brothers, so 53 years old, and I don't know how old Chris Rock is. 50, he's in his mid 50s. Never guess in 100 million years that would happen. So yeah, anyway, I'm not going to belabor the point. You can watch all the other videos on it if you want the salaciousness. Just giving you a true perspective from someone who can see what's happening here a little differently. And it's not good. It's not good at all. So, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell notification for all uploads. You can join the Patreon. I'm going to put the ticker up right here. You can join the Patreon at patreon.com/Fawcett Media. We can do some consultations. I've got a lot of information on entertainment and a lot of fun stuff for you. But like I said, check us out. Support this channel. More fun stuff coming hopefully tomorrow. I don't have to come in here with heavy hearts and give an address. Anyway, y'all, thank you for joining me. This is Fawcett Media. I'm out.